We're going to start on all fours, actually. Okay. So we're just going to start with a little bit of rocking. So we're on all fours, but you can still play around with some of the positioning here. So you can try your knees in different widths. Try them in narrow, make them wider. Might find different positions feel a little better, start stretching more of what you need to stretch. You can also try having your feet top down like I do right now, or you can turn those toes under and do them that way. Good, now we're staying tall in the shoulders here so we're not sagging down. We're nice and tall. Good. Now let's try and flip our hands around a little bit. You do not have to make this be a big movement, and your hands do not have to point all the way back like this. Just get them somewhere in there and just try and get a little bit of movement. A lot of us tend to have some really tight wrists, and that's one reason actually sometimes when we're doing things like, planks and stuff like that, if your wrists get uncomfortable in those positions, it may be a flexibility issue. It could be other things, but if you work on that mobility for the wrists, it can help. Good, let's turn them back around here. And now we're gonna come, actually no, stay there. Now we're gonna look around side to side. So we're gonna look behind us, and then we're gonna look to the other side. Look behind, other side. This one's a good one for me. I got some things popping. In a good way. Good, still tall through the shoulders. Good, one more time, look at each side. All right, now we're gonna come over onto our backs. We're just getting everything warmed up at the moment. So we're laying on our backs, we're gonna pull those knees up in the air and take hold of our shins somewhere, wherever's comfortable for you. And we're gonna just roll it. So we're gonna start with our eyes. We're gonna look one way, and then, at least the first time, you gotta kind of bring your legs over. Now we're gonna take the eyes and the head the other way and let it pull your body over. And then again, turn the head, lead with the eyes. You're just rolling around here. And again. Now you don't have to go the same speed as I do. If I'm doing something, I like these kind of slow, but you can always try them a little different tempo. And remember, anything, if we're doing turns or rolling or whatever, if you get any dizziness, just take it a little slower. See if that helps. Good. Okay, now we're gonna do a little bit different. I gotta move stretching myself out here. All right, so we're just gonna lay on our back, stretch those legs out. Try not to kick my flower pot. All right, I'm gonna have my arms up over my head. We're not taking naps though. We're gonna bring a knee up. Let's just go with our right knee so I can say the things right. So right knee's up in the air, and we're gonna bring it over towards our left. The upper body's just laying here. And then as we pull around, we roll over. Just letting the weight of your leg pull you over. Then, once you're here on your tummy, we're gonna take that same leg again. So right leg, kick the foot up in the air. Now we're gonna try to lift it a little bit and pull it back. And then it's gonna pull the rest of our body over. And we rolled again. Okay, let's try that again with our right leg. So we're gonna bring the knee up. We're gonna bring it across the body and let it roll up to our tummy. Good. Now bring that right foot up in the air. Try and bring it a little higher. Bring it over behind you and roll. This feels weird probably, huh? All right, let's do that again. One more on this side. Bring that leg across. Roll over to the tummy. And then bend that leg, a foot up in the air. bring it back behind. Awesome. Now we get to do the other side. So now we're bringing left leg up. We're going to bring it across the body and let it pull us over to our tummy. Now bring that left foot up in the air. It comes out behind and rolls us over. Good. Let's do it again. Bring it across. Roll it over. Good. Somehow I'm inching every time I'm getting closer to my plant. All right, let's bend that foot. Bring it over. Good. Now let's do one more on this side. So left leg comes up. Knee comes up. Bring it across the body and roll. And then left foot comes up. Bring it up behind and roll. Awesome. Okay. So hopefully you're feeling a little bit more, I don't know, more awake, warmed up, whatever. All right, so now this is one that is a wide range of things you can do here. So this is a get up off the floor thing. So if you have trouble getting up off the floor, then try and find something where you are exactly right now. But you can use a countertop, a chair, something if you need to, if it's hard for you to get up off the floor unassisted. So all we're gonna do, I probably didn't set my camera up right for this, so hopefully my head won't get cut off. But anyway, we're gonna be on our knees, okay, and we're gonna step up and we're gonna stand up. So we're gonna put a knee down and come down. So that's the basic move we're doing. You can do it fast to make it be more challenging. You can keep it slow, and like I said, you can always put your hand on something if you need that. Okay, so let's do several of these. Let's go one leg. I'm gonna go right leg, step it up, right leg, step back. Good. So as fast as you want to with these. Now, you do not have to go the speed that I am going. I'm experimenting with speed over here myself. But taking it up faster is a way to make it more challenging if this is already easy for you. But if it's not easy for you, don't feel bad about it. But do keep trying to do it, because getting up off the floor is a valuable skill forever. Good. Now, whatever leg you've been going up with, let's switch over to the other leg. So we're going to step it up with the other side. Again, take it at your own speed. That's why I'm not counting these for you. Good. Remember, fast or slow, either one is great. As long as you're working on getting up off the floor and getting back down. All right, now we're gonna park it on the floor. So if you're not there yet, work your way down. We're gonna come over onto our backs. Good. All right, so with this one, we're laying on our backs. We can have our arms out to the side for a little stability here. We're gonna lift our hips, and then we're gonna march. So we'll march, march. Key thing here is we are keeping those hips up in the air. We are not pushing to the point that our back is bowing. The hips are in the air, and we're doing a little bit of a glute squeeze the whole time. Now, if you want to make this slightly more challenging, you can take your arms up in the air, so now you don't have those little training wheels for balance. But absolutely, hands on the floor is an awesome version too. Good, we're marching. Keep it going. Okay, now bring them down. Bring your hips down to the floor. This time arms are out to the side like a T if somebody was looking down on you. We're gonna bring our knees up. And then we're gonna lean them. We're gonna try to keep our arms on the floor where they are. We're gonna lean our legs to one side. Woo, my back likes that. All right, then we're gonna bring it back to the center. We're gonna bring the knees to the other side. So the whole time your arms might slide a little, but we're trying to keep them on the ground. So if your legs won't go all the way to the side, that's fine. Or if your upper body needs to move a little bit due to your mobility, that's fine too. So to one side, bring it back to the center, to the other side. Now this is a good mobility movement for our back, but it's also working some of those abs and obliques a little bit too. You can also play around with, if you want to, extend those legs out to the side. Not sure if I got room over here. Oh, look, I do. So all these movements we're doing, you can experiment a little bit. If something doesn't feel right, ask me afterwards. I'll see if I can help you come up with a version that works for you. Good. And let's go to the other side one more time. Whoop, and back to the center. All right, now we're going to come over for a little side plank. So we are going to be on our forearm, so elbow and forearm. We're going to have our bottom leg bent, foot pointing back behind us. If your elbow bothers you, try to have something padded nicely underneath here. And remember, when we do this, we're staying tall in our shoulder. None of this. So tall in the shoulder. I'm not going to give as many tips the next time we go through these exercises here, but here we go. So now we're going to bring the hip off the ground. This knee is on the ground, foot's pointing behind. This leg is straight. Okay, so if this is a challenge for you, you can just hold this here, and when you need to, come down for a second and come back up. But if you're good here, let's try another level. So we're going to reach that arm out above, and we're going to bring this elbow and this knee in for crunch. So that's an option for you, but you can hold the side plank if you want. Good. Whichever version you're doing, stay tall on that shoulder. Awesome. Keeping that hip off the floor. Good. Let's do two more. Good. All right. Come down. We're going to spin it around to the other side. So same thing over here. We're going to be tall in the shoulder, not sinking down into it. Knee is bent, foot's pointing behind us. We're bringing our hips off the ground. We're trying to have a nice line all the way down from shoulder to toe. Good. Remember, you can hold, you can rest when you need, or you can add the crunches here. So let's crunch, crunch, or hold. Remember, your choice. Good. Now one more. Okay, we're going to come back onto our hands and knees. Okay, so we've got wrists lined up under our shoulders. We've got knees lined up under our hips. Okay. Now there's a couple versions we're going to do here. Okay, so if you can, flip the toes up under, and we're going to try and come up, knees just off the ground a little bit. Now we'll start easy here, kind of warming everything up here, easy-ish. This is still a pretty challenging move. So if you can, lift those knees and hold tall in the shoulders. See if you can hold for 5 seconds, then come down. Good. Take it up. See if you can hold it a little bit longer, or not. Now, if that's pretty easy for you, you can add this move, this challenging little move. So you're keeping the knees off the ground here, and then we're going to try and tap a shoulder. Tap a shoulder. Okay. Now, alternatively, if your feet don't want to do that, hurt your toes for mobility issue or what have you. I know I have at least one of y'all that may have a challenge with that. So you can just leave the feet here and still try and do the tap. You can even walk it out a little further or a little more challenge here. Tap, tap. So those are your versions. And let's do it a little more here. Here we go. So I'm going to bring these up off the ground. I'm going to tap a shoulder, tap a shoulder. Remember, you find a version that works for you. I want you to challenge yourself, not hurt yourself. Good. 2 more. Awesome. Okay. So now that we've gone through those, all those already, we're going to come back and do them all again. So this is going to be that stand-up one. Hang on, I'm getting a sip of water. Alrighty. So this is that knees to stand up, knees to stand up. Whatever version you need to do. So let's go with it. Remember your own speed. There's no right or wrong. Good. Now, if you've been going up with just one leg, switch to the other side. I mean, with just one leg leading. Good. In your own speed. How are we doing? You hanging in there? Good. All right. So work yourself back to the floor. We're going to come back to that little glib bridge march. So that's laying on our back, feet in close to our rear. Arms either at your side or up in the air. We're going to lift those hips. Squeeze the glutes and march. Good. So remember, arms out to the side is totally fine and awesome. Arms up in the air is just a version for if you want a little more challenge. The reason it's a little more challenge is because your core has to work a little harder to stabilize you from wobbling. Good. Keep marching. Doing great. All right. Bring those hips down. All right, now we're going to have arms out to the side, doing our little windshield wiper legs back and forth. So we're going to take them to one side, and then we're going to take them back to the center and then back over to the other side. Again, vary your speed as to what feels good for you. They can be super slow. You can pick up the pace a little bit. I would say don't do them too fast because then you're just using momentum. Good. And if you wanted more challenge, you could try them staying straight the whole way. Good. Just a couple more here. Good. All right. Now we're going to come over to our side plank again. Gonna work away from a plank here. All right. Side plank, tall in the shoulder, bottom knee bent, foot's pointing back behind us. We're a nice straight line from our foot up to our shoulder. If your level of challenge is right here, that's perfect. Hold as long as you can, take a little break and come back up. If you want to add that crunch, start with the arm up high and then bring it down to the knee and up. Crunch, crunch. Stay tall in that shoulder, don't let it start sagging. Good. One more here. Bring it on down. Bring it around to the other side. Okay, now side plank on the other side. So tall in the shoulder, knees bent, foot's behind us. We're bringing the hips up off the ground, straight line, shoulder down to foot. Remember, if this is your spot, hold as good as you can, as long as you can, not letting this sag down too far. If you want to add the crunch, bring that arm up and let's crunch. I gotta remember to position different next time. I keep hitting my plant. Good. Two more here. All right, so bring it down, and then we're gonna come back to whichever version of this quadruped thing. So remember, you can be, like the easiest version is right here and tap the shoulders, just with knees on the ground. That's fine, this is where you are. You wanna make it a little more challenging, bring it on out, not letting anything sag here, we're not doing this, and tap shoulders here, okay? The next level up is knees off the ground, but no tapping. And just hold for a few seconds or longer. And then the more advanced version is knees off and tap. So pick your version and let's do it. Good, come on down. You're doing fantastic. We're gonna go through those one more time here. All right, so that means we're coming back to that stand up move. So get yourself wherever you need to be for that. All right, my birds aren't even singing to me this morning. I don't know why. All right, here we go, we're gonna stand up and then come back down. At your own speed. Now I'm stepping up with the same leg each time, so I'll switch in a minute here. You can do it whichever way you want. You can alternate if you want. And remember, whatever speed works for you. It's not a race as long as you're challenging yourself. Good, now if you happen doing just one leg, side, leading, switch to the other side, leading. You're doing great. Whoop. And this is our last round of these. All right. Now work your way back down. Good. We're working our way back to our backs again for those little glute bridge marches. Good. So we're getting ourselves positioned on our back. Feet are in close to our hiney. We're gonna lift those hips. We're gonna pick an arm position, so either out to the side for a little balance, stability there, and we're gonna start marching. Remember, if you want to, you can experiment with the arms up in the air. But this is an awesome version as well. Good. So those legs are just marching. We're keeping some tension in those glutes. Keep them squeezing. Hips are staying off the ground. Good. And two more. All right. Bringing ourselves back down to the floor. Arms are going to come out to the side. We're going to do our little windshield wipers again. So our knees come up, and we take them to one side, and then we bring them back to center, and take them to the other side. Now again, you can make this really nice and slow. You can get here and just hang for a second, because I really like to stretch. Good, so those legs are just marching. We're keeping some tension in those glutes. Keep them squeezing. Or you can keep it moving more than that. Good. All right, I'm going to do one more on each side. And we're going to bring it back to the center there. And then, when you're ready, come on up to a side plank. Okay, tall on the shoulder, bottom knee bent, foot pointed behind you. Let's bring those hips up. Keeping some tension here in the body to stay where we are right now. All right, so you can do your hold or bring that arm up and let's add the crunch. You're doing fantastic. One more. All right, we're gonna flip it around, other side. Good. All right, tall in the shoulder, knee bent, but behind us. Let's bring that hip up off the ground. Nice straight line. Ooh, I'm sweaty. All right, let's bring that arm up high if you want. And if you're adding crunches, then let's do it. Otherwise, work on your hold. Whatever version you're doing awesome. I'm doing one more here. All right, let's bring it down. Awesome. So one more round on all fours. Remember the versions that you can pick from. So regular all fours, do your taps. Bring it out farther, do your taps. Hold it in place, no taps, with knees off the ground for a few seconds at a time. Or add the taps. So pick your version and let's do it. One more round here. Good. Now bring it on down. Let's get a little rocking going here again. You've done fabulous. We're just going to get a little stretching and mobility thrown in again. I would say cool down, but with this level of humidity, I think I'm just going to be mildly sweaty all day. Good. Now it feels good. Let's bring it down into a little child's pose. So with child's pose, remember there's a lot of variations here. This should be a pose that feels good. So experiment with where your knees are. Some people like them real in close. Some people like them wider. So experiment with that. And just let your head rest on the floor. Stretch those arms out in front. Good. Now you can also walk it a little bit more forward. Let your hind stick up in the air. This is like the little puppy play pose when your dog wants you to play. And then try and look forward at those hands. Now if you do this one, just try and like melt into the floor. So we're not holding ourselves up here. We're just letting our chest go towards the ground as far as it will. Good. those arms in a little bit. So now you've got elbows under the shoulders. Let's take the knees kind of wide here. And we're going to rock a little right here in a wide rock. And you really don't have to have much weight at all on your arms. Good. And again, with this rock, experiment with the feet. If you usually do them with feet down, try flipping the toes out. If you usually do them with toes up, try flipping the toes down. Good. All right. So let's walk it up and sit in a more upright position here. You can have legs out in front of you, a little bit of a straddle pose. You can do a little cross-legged, whatever feels good here. And then let's bring hands behind. You can just walk them back. And then pull the shoulders back to open the chest. And then try looking up at the ceiling. And tucking the chin. Hold there. Look it back up, nice and slow. And tuck the chin. Good. You can also try here to interlace the fingers if that's comfortable for you, if it's doable, or you can just keep them locked back there behind you. Good. Now let your head go to one side. A little stretch in the side of the neck there. Good. Bring it back to center. Let it go the other way. So if you've chosen, I'm just coming to face you again. If you don't have your hands interlaced, just keeping those fingers behind you. Good, bring the head back to center. Lean it to one side again. Good, bring it back to center, lean it to the other side again. Good, back to center. Okay, now whatever straddle or cross-legged position you are, let's bring your hand over, opposite hand over to the opposite knee. And then just walk that other hand around a little bit behind. We're trying to get some stretch here through our middle. And then try and look back over your back shoulder. Good. Now you can walk that back hand back forward and then switch hands. So now we're putting the other hand on the outside of the thigh, walking those fingers around behind, letting a little twist in our middle, and trying to look over our back shoulder. Good, bring it on back to the front. Good job. Let's just do a little inhale here, working on filling that belly. Bring those arms up. Reach them up towards the sky. Take a couple breaths here, arms reaching as high as they can. Now inhale again. And on your exhale, release those arms. Good. Thank you so much for being with me today.